Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we'll be doing black and purple product photography color grading. Let's dig in.
Bokeh Photos, Affinity Photo.
Okay, so the main theme for this product photography shot was pretty much purple color. As you can see, this is the raw file just simply opened up in Affinity, and let's develop this and try to make it happen from scratch once again. As you can see, the photo is pretty dark right now. Let's bump up the exposure. Perfection. Let's add the shadows. Open up the shadows, something like that. Maybe not much. And there you have it. It looks very, very nice. I would bump up the highlights. Let's see if there are any. Not much, because this is pretty much all that is shadows and blacks. So eventually those are the highlights bars here. So we won't be doing anything with that. Let's go to the curve adjustment layer and do the classic S curve. And let's see how it goes. I want to do this muted faded effect that we were talking previously. I just simply like it how it looks on the black colors. It does add this texture and a little bit of artistic finesse. Okay, I would pretty much go with this. Let's click develop, wait a minute, and we will remove those orange colors that we are seeing right here. Let's get rid of this. This is unfortunately some logo. We can always paint it or just copy paste some other part of the image, so no problem with that. Let's just run through quickly how we can achieve such color. This photo, for example, is pretty much purely purple because it was made like that, so everything will be very, very simple. Why I usually don't do a lot of stuff in the develop module? Well, I like to have everything in layers, because if you develop something and you stick with this and you click develop, then there you have it. You cannot get back and change those variables. You just simply need to add more on top of that. So I usually click simply develop, and there's that. Okay guys, so this is it. I would eventually try and add a little bit of contrast to everything. The curve is already there, but as you can see, we don't see those changes right now. This is pretty awesome, I would say. I'm a big fan of clarity, I must say. This is -100. As you can see, it's a little bit soft. And +100. It does pop up the detail. I like that, and I will also try to do something with the highlights. Maybe now it will work. Let's try and see. Highlights. Yes, exactly what I wanted. I would like this to be a grungy effect, a very, very pin sharp and just screaming at you. So I will leave at that. The white, especially this, is very, very visible. It just simply is being thrown into the eye. What else I wanted to do? I wanted to remove those orange casts. Let's pick yellow. Let's make it also into those oranges here, and let's try to change this hue a little bit. This is too much because this is very, very fake. Let's just desaturate those a little bit. Not too much, but just a little bit. This is pretty, yes, this is very yellowish, so let's make this. There's no reds, no pinks and purples, so we don't really have to fiddle around with that part to watch the gradient follow for the colors. When we change this greens, there are also no greens here. We just want that light to be a little bit less than it already is. Okay, now this is before. Look at the yellow color cast, and this is the after. It's a lot more in point. Maybe a little bit yellow would be okay. Okay, there's that. This is not purely black, but it doesn't have to be. There is natural light in the end, right? So this is a lifestyle photography, not some pin sharp perfect gradient color from a studio on black background, etc, etc. So what else can we do? We can try to, of course, use the InPaint tool to remove some spots like here. Sorry. Remove this. Those points like here, those little highlights, I like to leave them actually. It's not bad. And there you have it. This is pretty much a post-production of black purple with a grungy white high highlights effect photography. So let's go with another example. As usual, this is a little bit complicated. We would like to achieve here is the look that, well, the main color of the product is purple, as you can see, this violet, and we would like everything to just simply reflect that color on black and white image, more or less. So those should be more or less the three colors, the theme. As you saw previously, there was a lot of purple. Okay, but here, let's try and make it very subtle, like lavender color instead of that grass. We have a little pinks here from the highlights from the sun, because this is the sunset. I mean, before the sunset, so the light, the sun is pretty low. Let's try and do something about it. I will just click develop and make the original image as it is. So everything we can change on layers, and then we'll have it a lot easier to change and fiddle around with different scenarios. Okay, so there we have it. Let's make it straight. Is it straight? Yeah, I would say it won't get better than that. Let's lower down this a little bit. Maybe put it, maybe not. Let's not put it pin sharp in the middle. Okay, there's that. So let's copy the background layer, Ctrl J, and add the HSL adjustment layer. So greens, what can we make with those greens? Let's try and move it a little bit. As you can see, this is the regular straight out of the box green. It doesn't give us anything. Let's just choose a color picker, click here, and as you can see, there's a lot of yellowish color inside. So let's just stretch this. So everything here between those middle inside two dots will change if we change the hue shift, as you can see right now. And this looks awesome, very surreal. And there we have it. This is the perfect color I would like to have. And let's desaturate this so it won't be that fake, I would say. We can, of course, a little bit change this so we can have those yellows, those light highlights. From that part, if we go, we don't really do anything. There's a lot more yellowish colors inside. Like, this is too much, obviously. I would like to have a little bit of those greens eventually, right? Inside. So there will be some breakthrough through those colors, and let's try and dig it. Okay, I would say the color is pretty perfect. It's very subtle, it's muted, it's faded, it looks very nice in my opinion. Let's try the second part. No, yeah, we want that. We might go a little bit towards pink and then try to desaturate that. It all depends on pretty much what you would like to achieve and what do you like. And of course, the person you are shooting this for. And as you can see, if we stretch only this part, we can mute all those colors around. If we do something like that, we have those harsh parts here. I don't really like those harsh parts. Let's make it a little bit a more smooth transition thanks to those points. This is blue. Okay, something like that. We got a little bit of really punchy, contrasty colors, so this looks very nice. We have this, and now we need to pump up everything with a contrast, highlights, and just to add the bokeh effect in the end, in the top, I would like for it to be very, very white, very, very bright. So let's try and do something about that. Okay, this is obviously too much, but let's keep it at that. I like that. Let's go with the clarity. My god, I love clarity so much. This makes everything a little busy, but it does draw the eye when you start looking for some pattern, something you can recognize, and then, because there is nothing there, you will simply go straight to the logo and you will read Odin Canvas drops, because this is something that your brain recognizes, so there's that. If we go with the clarity totally on the other hand, it also looks very nice because it has this dreamy vibe, right? Somewhere. This is very grunge. It's obviously a little bit too much, but we can pretty much do both, I would say, and send it to client, because this is only one change for us on the slider. Tell me in the comment section, which one is better? Do you like this grungy stuff or this dreamy faded idea? I would add a little bit of that detail. Okay, maybe this. Let's leave like that. Highlights we already did. Well, we can just try for the sake of the argument and see how the unsharp mask will work. Add a little factor, unsharp mask. Yeah, a little bit. It is obviously too much, right? But as you can see, if we are using clarity, we don't really need to then make another unsharp mask or whatever, because clarity also adds a little bit of the sharpness to the photo, because it adds the local contrast between everything. So to be honest, this is with, this is before. I don't really see any difference, so let's just remove that, and there you have it. This is how we can do from our original photography that you can color grade it to something totally different for the theme of the product, of the colors you would like to show to your clients. It's really that easy. Okay, so another example. Okay, so this is another example, and this is pretty much a little bit complicated, because as you can see, we have those color cards in the left top corner here. Here we have our bottle. This is white. Those are the black and white photographies from Ansel Adams' book album, and pretty much the blanket is the same as in the first photography. So let's try and do this very, very grungy and punchy, like the nature, the grass photography, and let's see how it goes. Brightness and contrast. Again, push the brightness a lot because we got all the information here. Let's add a lot of contrast. Maybe not add the contrast, because we can do this simply using curves. So let's use curves and add this mated faded effect that I personally really like. Just remember that the faded muted matte effect should not remove any details you would like to have. Like, this looks differently, this looks differently. Does it look better? Is the photo more readable? It should be in the end, but I'm not sure about that. I would eventually lower down the highlights a little bit more here. And let's think about it in a moment. This is blue. This is, for example, not visible much. Yeah, as you can see, faded effect does mess up those postcards, so this is something I didn't anticipate. There's a lot of blue color here, etc, etc, and we don't have anything to actually balance it out on the other side of the photography. So this is just an example, so you'll remember not everything always will be great, but you just have to go with it. You can always make it black and white and purple only, and those would be pretty much black and white, so no worries there. Let's try and do something like that. So pretty much we desaturate reds, yellows, greens, blues. As you can see, all that light from here just vanished. And this is, here we have our purple color. And there you have it. You can pretty much boost the color up, so it will be more punchy. But it's not really the original color of the product, so let's fade it out a little bit. Just more or less something like that, is like that, and yes. This color is faded originally, so it might not be that punchy in an image on social media, unfortunately, more or less. But still, the color is the original one. Let's add the clarity, and let's see how it goes. It doesn't do much for us, actually, but look at the postcards. When I use clarity to the max, those are visible. If I lower it down, barely can see anything. But it does make a lot. That's actually does draw a lot of attention, so I would keep it on the low end, so we will be able to better read and our eyes will go directly to the bottle and then search the image all around. Okay guys, so let's add the highlights adjustment layer to really pump up those whites. And does it look okay? It's a little bit too much. Okay, this is obviously too much here, but here it looks pretty okay. This here I would also add a little bit more, in my humble opinion. But let's just simply remove it from here, so we can just... We are on our adjustment layer, just pick the brush. Pick a masking brush, for example, or whatever you want. And just paint with black. And you can, as you can see, we get the original image right back in. And we can add the highlights, for example, here additionally. So let's add another shadow and highlights adjustment layer. And watch that part, only that on this side. Let's pump up the highlights a little bit. Okay, something like that. Then we can click Ctrl I, which inverts the mask, which pretty much everything's black now. And we need to paint with white to actually show it up. So as you can see, under the brush, it gets a little bit lighter, right? As I move this. So I can pretty much paint with the... I can see how it will look if I will paint right now with that brush. And I can then use this. So all those elements that I would like to highlight additionally with the second layer, I can just simply do it like that. And there you have it, guys. This is how you can do a black and white with a purple color photography, product photography, post-processing. It's pretty much the main theme, right? Those elements like here, just simply go with the in paint tool and remove those. And there you have it. A lot smoother, a lot better, a lot nicer. And there you have it. So guys, if you have any questions, hit me up. Tell me how do you like the clarity in the previous question in the comment. And if you have any product photography needs, feel free to hit me up on Fiverr. My link is down below. And thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.